What does a typical day look like for you as a head of operation?
My day just depending on two things, like depend on the problem solving and the planning.
And today joining me is Miss Salma. She is the head of operations and the technical trainer recruiter.
So we are the ones who's always on the backstage, but our role is really important at the end. Like when the session starts on time, finishes on time, and you're not having any drama in between, at that moment, I feel like it's well executed.
I have a question for you, but after that, we can start? Alright, done. Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Ask If, where we discuss everything about the trainings and exams. This podcast has been sponsored to you by MontRoyal Elevate. We have the offices in Canada, United Arab Emirates and Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I'm your host, Ibtihaj, and today joining me is Miss Salma.
Hello.
She is the head of operations and the technical trainer recruiter. And without a further ado, let's do it. Hello Salma, how are you?
How are you, Tiaj? I'm doing good. Nice to meet you again.
Again, the second time we're doing it.
Yes. How's everything? All's good?
Alhamdulillah, you tell, how are you? And thanks again for coming from all the way from Abu Dhabi.
Thank you, Tiaj. Thank you.
All right. So in this episode, Salma, just for the sake of the context for our audience as well, in last episode, for which I'll give the link on the comment section, you guys can take a look at that. We spoke about the technical recruitment part of the job. I mean, the recruiter, what are the main things, how they people can apply for this particular job or for this particular industry. In this episode, we will actually deep dive into the operations part. All right. So let's start with something fun. What does a typical day look like for you as a head of operations in the company?
Well, actually, my day just depending on two things. I always depend on the problem solving and the planning. I need always to check. I have my own calendar that it has all the things that it's going to be coming ahead. So I would have a penalty of time just to prepare for everything. And problem solving, because as you know that I'm always having the issues here and there. So I have to solve it. So yeah, we can say the planning and problem solving always are there. Yeah.
Perfect. That is something that definitely defines the role of the operations as well. Because whenever we say operations, second name is the problem.
Correct.
It has a problem. And we are glad to have you as a head of operations because you know how to take care of the things, how to take care of the operations. Mm-hmm. So next question is, let's speak about it. What do you think learners would be surprised to know about your role?
Yeah, well, you know, those people, when you have a play that it's happening, usually we are the one on the backstage. We watch everything quietly without disturbing, but without us things will not be happening, I mean, in the correct way. So we are the ones who are always on the backstage, but our role is really important at the end.
All right, perfect. So let's move into the training programs because this is something that I really want to speak about in today's episode. Let's deep dive into it. So how far in advance do you plan a training program?
Well, usually I need around from 2 to 4 weeks. Because the more you give me time, the more gives me a flexibility on planning, on having just to arrange for the venues, for deciding if it's going to be an online training, it's going to be in-person training, also preparing for the materials, all this stuff. You need from 2 to 4 weeks. And for sure, as we have spoken before, that the process of allocating a trainer that would be fitting into the criteria, it takes a lot of time. I mean, the more you give me a time, the perfectly I would be doing.
What is more challenging? Is it the trainer, venue, or something else?
To be honest with you, everything it has its own challenge. I mean, but we can say that the venue it's more it has more flexibility more than the trainer, because the trainer you have to pick it with a certain criteria. The venue, it depends on what the client is just preferring. If he's preferring to have their candidates in person, so it's going to be in person place, or it's just going to be online sessions.
So let's say it's an in-person session. then definitely it also depends like how many candidates are coming for it.
Correct.
You need to look for the either for the meeting room or for the small room. You need to look for the like all the preparation in the center itself. So yeah, I can see it's a lot things. Perfect. Now let's say, just for the sake of my imagination, you have prepared for the program. How or what are the things actually? What are the most important things to double check before the session start?
Okay, now if we're having, let's say, an online session, usually you need to check on the trainer's login, you need to check on the internet connection, all these stuff, because technical issues, it's like you might face it sometimes. When it comes to the personal trainings, face-to-face trainings, you need to check on the venue, you need to check on the material, you need to check that everything is settled, like everyone is being on their seats on time and so on. So it depends on the methodology of the training.
Let me ask you something fun. Which one is your favorite? Is it face-to-face or is it online?
Well, to be honest with you, because I'm always behind the camera in the virtual trainings, but I'm there also. It has, for me, as a Salma, I like the face-to-face trainings, to be honest. I mean, the in session, it's because I feel like I'm more there.
You can face-to-face talk
Exactly,
with the person.
yeah,
you
yeah.
can face-to-face talk
And
with
even
the...
when I chase for the,
Yeah.
for the assessments, and then it's more easier for me.
Perfect. So now you have prepared for the session. You have make sure that the session goes smooth. Now, what makes a session feel like very well executed for you?
Okay, that's a good question. والابتهاج, when when the session starts on time and finishes on time, and you're not having any drama in between, at that moment, I feel like it's well executed. And believe it or not, when the people, they are really engaged in the session, I feel that we had a successful session, because the engagement, it plays a huge role actually.
All right. So let's speak about little bit about the execution of the training section now at this stage. I know you just have told us like the in-person is your favorite, or like face-to-face. But tell us like which one is actually more challenging? Is it like the online or the in-person training?
Wallahi, both, they have their own challenges. You need to make sure you're not facing any technical issues when it comes to online trainings. You need to make sure that you're having good internet connection and so on. But when it comes also to the face-to-face trainings, you also have to be able to manage that everything starts on time, finishes on time, everyone is settled, everyone is happy with that. So it has, both of them, it has its own challenge.
Exactly. And for me personally, I can feel like obviously when you are doing face-to-face training, you have more, kind of grip on the things. Okay, it's only the AC and it's only the internet, and internet only for the trainer, right? And obviously for the students as well. But you do not rely or you do not depend more on the technology in this case. But personally for me, if I am doing like online, like if I'm a part of online session, and if there's something goes wrong in the equipment or in the laptop, I mean that's the most thing that I can't actually, this gives me goosebumps. Oh my God, this if this happens, there is something wrong that's gonna happen one with each other, like the ladder will fall.
Yeah, and believe it or not, Ibtihaj, I heard from some of the trainers that they don't prefer the virtual trainings for one reason, that they want to engage the candidates more in more practical stuff, some games, some study cases, some stuff like these. So they need them to practice more with their hands, to engage the training with more fun, to be more entertaining. So this is also a challenging part. Yeah, some of them, they know how to do it in the virtual trainings, yet the face-to-face, there's you cannot get rid of the face-to-face trainings.
Exactly. At the end of the day, all of us are humans, right? So we need to interact, and no matter Dubai, I always say Dubai is a city that is on the peak of the technology, we have everything in terms of the internet, we have the world's best internet. Yeah, technology, we have to be, we need to learn the technology, but at the end of the day, face to face is something that will never leave its touch. How do you communicate, or how do you manage the communication during a live session without disrupting the trainer?
This is something, wallahi, I don't like to do it. I mean, I hate like disturbing the trainers while they're having the session, because I'm putting myself in their place. Yani, like you're delivering a training, but sometimes you need to, because you got something urgent or something that you need to tell him at the moment. So I always just prefer any internal communication. Like I'm gonna be like just sending him a message through WhatsApp or something, so he would like just whenever he's able to have a look, like sneaky like look on it, then khalas, we're fine. But just interrupting, like going on the session, out of nowhere and just like talking like this, no, it never goes like this.
You know what I think of this question? I mean, when I think of this particular thing, the best analogy that comes in my mind is actually the newscasters. They have the the AirPods in their head, and the producer, the Salma, is speaking from the back. Do this, do not do this. Perfect. All right. So let's say the training session has ended, and what's the first thing you do after the session is done?
Yeah, actually, the most important thing after finishing a session is to have the feedback. Feedback plays a big role, because at that moment you will understand what was the impression of the candidates toward this session. Also, you have to have to know who was there, like who's there. You need to know also as well the assessment, like how was the income, like what was there. I mean, like before the session, what the knowledge they gained after the session, if there's any improving or not. So this is very important after the session to have a look on it.
All right. So after the session, obviously the feedback is important. How do you actually track if the training was successful?
Well, actually, as we were talking about the technology, we're always depending like on the online forms. Very easily, like you get a form, you just fill it with certain questions that give you a conclusion about the session overall. Also, it gives like an idea about if you were comfortable with the venue, the materials, the trainer himself, and so on. And for me, Ibtihaj, to be honest, I'm very keen also to have a feedback from the trainer himself, because it's important to know how the things were going from his side, if they were like he was facing any issue with the candidates, if they were good, the session went smoothly or not. This is very important to me, even like in a personal wise. Yeah.
Perfect. So what kind of, if you can give us like the idea about the reports, if you prepare any reports right after the training?
For sure. Actually, there are like some stuff that it should be there after every single session. We should have the attendance who were there in the session. We should have an evaluation for the training. We should have an assessment that it happened from the pre-post assessment. The pre-post, it's like that it's happening before the session, and the post-assessment that it's happening after the session. As well, I'll be taking like the trainer's note for my own sake. Yeah.
All right, perfect. So far in my mind imagination, I've seen you're prepared for the training, the training has done, you have calculated the feedback as well. I want to talk about little bit about the people side as well, in your operation team as well. So what qualities do you look for in a good operation team member?
Well, details, details. You should be like keen on the details. You're detailed oriented, because believe it or not, details, wallahi, it makes a huge difference when it comes to trainings industry. You need to have a good communication. You need to communicate a lot, and you need to keep yourself calm, because you will find a lot. We have been spoken about that, I mean, before, that you need to keep yourself calm, because you will face a lot in the trainings industry. You will face even different personalities, so you need to deal with everything in a very calm way.
That is something that definitely makes sense. If you could automate one part of your job, what will that be and why?
I would go for the follow-ups. The follow-ups gives me like a really hard time, and chasing like I keep like chasing the assessments. Both of those things, if they are automated, my life would be way easier because uh, not everyone they respond the same way. I mean, not the same speed, and not that quick. And some people, you feel like they are not really interested after finishing the session to do anything, or even like before it. So you need always to keep on keep an eye here and there, and just keep chasing here and there. So this is the thing.
Perfect. If you can give us like maybe a little bit more like few examples as well for the follow-ups. For example, you just have given it the example of like follow-up of the feedback or like the quality of the training from the students. You also have follow-ups with the trainers? Because we just spoke about the trainer, right? All right. So give us just example, like, and also if anything went wrong. I mean,
For the follow-up, sometimes you're just you need to document everything. So you need also to have like there are stuff that it's required from the trainer to have it in a specific time before the training that is happening. So you keep like on calling, you keep like on messaging, and I'm that kind of person. I hate to keep like ticking ahead on anyone because I don't like this to happen to me as well. But there's a moment that you cannot do anything and you need to act like this. So I hate myself when it comes like doing like that. But anyway, those kinds of follow-ups I keep on like just to have things happening on time before the training.
follow-ups is also like something that you actually do not only to make sure everything goes smooth, but also to avoid your stress as well. I know as an operation, you would be stressed if the trainer is not coming up with the material.
This is very true because it makes a difference really.
Perfect. So let's talk about some futuristic insights. And the reason for this is because as an operations, you have the eye. You have given us very good example of very good analogy that you're sitting on the background and watching everything. So you kind of have eyes on everything. What do you think, how the training execution is going to change in the next few years?
Well, looking to what is happening, Ibtihaj, I can say that we will be depending more on the digital stuff, like everything's going to be digitalized, and you can see the AI is taking a huge place. I feel like in a matter of time we'll be having a robots robots trainers or something that is taking place. Like you will find that everything is getting digitalized. This is very showing that it will be like, I feel like it will be there because even I'll tell you something, you can figure out that after the COVID, people they are depending more on the virtual trainings because it became something, they found out that it's very easier, it's saving time, and it can be like happening well organized and smoothly. So they are depending more on the virtual training. So I believe that AI will be taking a place, very soon on this.
And not only the AI, AI, like, to be honest, like, if I have to talk about it this way, the car productions, for example, if we go back 4 years, 5 years, even 10 years, it would be very unrealistic for the people to even think about it. To even imagine that in the cars production bay areas, it will be a robot who's painting the car. So now we're talking about the robots who will actually give the trainings to the students. There are actually a lot of AI solution even at this stage that can create your clone, and they can actually do the lip sync and they can deliver everything on a very genuine kind of the way they can actually deliver. But at the end of the day, my point is also going to be the same. It's like at the end of the day, we are humans, right? We need the face-to-face interaction.
Yes, you will never be able to get rid of this because there are emotions. At the end, you need emotions in anything. So yeah.
Perfect. Let's try to wrap it up with something fun as well. If you think if the training department was a movie genre, what would that be? And I don't know. I'll only ask this question from you.
Wallahi, I tell you, wallahi, Ibtihaj. Yeah, it's gonna be action comedy actually because you feel like you're running all the time. You're having so much suspense. And at the same time, it ends up like when you have a successful training, you're having a happy ending that everyone is happy. And there are a lot of laughs, in between.
A lot of running around.
Yes, exactly.
All right. So basically you have a very good experience in the operations. If someone who wants to join in the operations department, but in the training field, let's say, what advice would you give to someone like that?
Well, I would say stay organized. Like being organized save you a lot of time because the training is always depending on planning ahead. You need to have a good communication skills as well because the role is depending on how you communicate with people all the time. Also to stay calm as much as possible. So I would just advise those who want to to enter the operation world to have those things.
Do you think is it like easy, the operations normally? Okay, let me just put some context back on the back of it. Normally when we talk about different departments, people think sales is the most difficult one. They take more stress, they take more stuff like this. But what about operations? Operations is also very stressful.
Every role it has its own challenges. You can never say you cannot say that there's a role that's easier than the other until you just go through it and go through all the struggles and the issues there. But I find my role is very challenging. I'm a person who loves to challenge. And when there's a challenge, you know that, and you find a result with successful results, you feel that you have done something. So operations, it doesn't need a person who's weak or who cannot go with the stress. It needs someone who's really able to face all the struggles with a tone and a calm way. So yeah, this is how it goes with me, to be honest.
And also, I want to highlight one more point as well. One of the factors is also Dubai factor as well. The thing that I want to say is Dubai, if you're in Dubai, you have to be continuously improving yourself, right? So in operations, obviously you're a backbone of all for the whole company. People are actually expecting more out of you. So you need to improve yourself. You need to make sure all the things goes like smoothly and everything.
Yes.
Perfect. That is great. So wonderful speaking with you.
Thank you, Ibtihad.
If anyone wants to reach out, anyone has any questions, we can actually they reach out to you.
It can be like we're having our website there, and we're there on the LinkedIn as well. You can find us anywhere and everywhere.
Perfect. And I'm gonna make sure that I will put the website and phone number below in the description as well. Thank you so much, Salma.
Thank you, Ibtihaj.
It is pleasure speaking with you.
Same here.
And that's all from our side, and we are really hopeful that you would have learned something out of it for the trainings and everything for the operations as well. In case of any questions, let us know in the comment box, or you can reach out to us on the phone number, or you can also visit our training centers in Dubai and Abu Dhabi. That's all from our side. We'll see you in the next episode. Until then, take care of yourself and the people around you.